at one point we walked in there and couldn't find him. I was like, what the heck is he? He was napping in his litter box.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
I feel like I see that there was at the Pet Supplies Plus near us. They used to like do some sort of joint effort with a local shelter to get cats adopted, and I would so often like see the cats who like didn't want to socialize, just like the only place that you couldn't see them was when they were in the litter box, so they would just sleep in there.
Yeah.
I'm sure it's not comfortable at all, and I don't know why a cat would do that if they didn't have to.
I mean, it's a dark corner basically, and
Fair.
I don't know. It's sand basically. I don't know. I guess it's probably not uncomfortable as long as it's been like recently cleaned.
Okay, fair point. It's like sleeping on the beach, but stinkier.
Yeah. Hello, and welcome to Noise Floor. I'm Troy Sennett.
And I'm Matt Kistler.
And this is a podcast about music through the lens of our favorite artist discographies. We're kicking off a new series. We just did a series on the albums of the band Thursday, and then a little palette cleanser on Boy Genius, and now we're jumping into Rilo Kiley. Rilo Kiley was kind of a I guess you could call him like an indie rock sort of not proto emo, but like indie emo band from Los Angeles, formed in the late 90s. They released 4 full-length albums, but we're starting with their sort of album, sort of EP, sometimes self-titled, sometimes called The Initial Friend, released and re-released a few times in 1999 and 2000 and 2001. All independently. This was kind of seemed like they kind of tweaked this thing as they were trying to figure out what they wanted their band to be. They were sort of like, I guess, more well known for being actors. Jenny Lewis and Blake Sennett, the two kind of core members of the band, the two main songwriters of the band, both child stars in the 80s and early 90s, who then kind of quit acting and to focus on music. Matt, what was your background with Rilo Kiley before I kind of suggested doing them for this?
So kind of piecemeal, honestly. I had heard the name back in high school, but I don't think I really gave them a fair shake until college, around the time their last album came out, because that was 2007, I want to say, Off the Dome. Sometime when I was in college. Was when that record dropped, and that was the first time I think I gave them an earnest listen and enjoyed them. But then, just kind of spottily listened to them over the course of the next few years, and kind of got more into them in the late 2010s as I started to pay a little more attention to their discography and discovered a lot of their songs are really, really good. It turns out, and also kind of through I have a friend. She just doesn't live around here anymore, who was very into Jenny Lewis. So I kind of got introduced to her solo material, which again kind of led me back to Rilo Kiley again. I'm glad it did, because good band, turns out. Maybe that's why we're talking about them.
Yeah, they were like my girlfriend in high school, Molly, she would make me mix CDs, and often would put a Rilo Kiley song or two on those, and that was my introduction to the band, through singles, mostly from Execution of All Things and More Adventurous. So I kind of worked outward from the middle of their discography. I still have not spent much time with Under the Blacklight, so I'm kind of excited to get to that after going through all of the other albums again. And then this one, The Initial Friend, was legitimately like hard to find for a while. It was completely out of print. I mean, it was obviously you could pirate it or whatever, but the physical copies were like just you'd have to pay a couple $100s to find one on eBay when they would pop up, until a few years ago when they finally put it out on vinyl.
Because they initially hadn't planned on releasing this at all, right?
Well, I mean, like later on, once they put out Takeoffs and Landings stuff, they just kind of like, we don't really want to acknowledge this EP anymore.
Sure. I mean, I mean, like you mentioned, it through the many and varied re-releases and differing track lists, it's clear that like this was a exploratory time for them for sure, which like all debuts is kind of just how it goes.
Yeah, and they're like the beginnings of this band, having read like a few interviews and stuff like that, like they kind of they obviously they were intentionally trying to work on a music career, and like Jenny had quit acting. Her last movie is like this weirdly infamous Leonardo DiCaprio movie that has never been released in the United States, because it's the subject of multiple myriad lawsuits.
Oh, cool.
Called the movie's called Don's Plum. I have not seen it, but it's DiCaprio and Tobey Maguire, and they claim that they were sort of tricked into it being a feature length movie when they thought it was a short film, and so they sued. And it's like, basically hardly anyone has seen it, but Jenny Lewis is in that. But that's following a long career as a child star. I don't think I've seen like anything that she's in except for this. Our friend Toad sent us this Jenny Lewis in a PSA about not doing crack, which is very funny. When she's like 11 years old or something. Very
straightforward. Yeah, like just talking deadpan into the camera about not doing crack, and if you are doing crack, get yourself help.
Yeah.
Which is wild to come out of any 11-year-old's mouth, but also
right. But yeah, so I mean, I seemed, as far as I could tell, was fairly successful as an actor, and as was Blake. I hadn't seen anything that Jenny had been in, but I was a huge Boy Meets World fan, as I feel like everybody our age was, and Blake is a fairly important side character in like the later Boy Meets World seasons, or I guess more like the middle seasons. Were you familiar with any of them as actors?
Not really. I'm sure I saw some episode. I watched Boy Meets World in such a like weird like piecemeal manner that I don't know that I remember his character offhand, but I know I saw some of the like later day episodes, so I'm sure I did see him without realizing it.
Yeah, I mean he plays this like sort of, I mean, he's called Joey the Rat, this kind of like mobster, but like, he's part of the like bully. He's the bully's sidekick.
Okay, gotcha.
But yeah, I guess I should say that his last name is Sennett, the same as mine. I don't think we're related, but I can pretend that we are, because he is legitimately like one of my favorite guitar players. Less evident on this album, I think, than going forward, where he, especially on Execution of All Things, his guitar work on that record is like just phenomenal.
Totally. And like I would argue that maybe this record shows promise, I think is the phrase I might use on that front in a lot of ways, but like specifically some of the guitar parts are just really, really fun and creative for a band that's just starting out.
Yeah, and like shows promise, I think, is a good way to put it, because they're, I think that they are like, I don't know. I don't know that they like leveraged their like, sort of minimal amount of stardom into like this band, but it kind of feels like they fell into it a little bit, where they were like, yeah, I think Jenny and Blake were already dating by the time they started the band.
Right.
And I read one thing where she said that Blake wanted to be like the lead singer, and she was like, I will only be in the band if I get to sing lead, which is, spoiler alert, the right choice.
Yeah, 100%.
This will be a running theme in this series, I think, of how much I don't like Blake's voice, and I think if he wasn't such a great guitar player, he would really bring this band down.
Oh no.
Yeah. Maybe we'll disagree on that. I don't know.
No, I don't get, given this record, I can see where that opinion comes from.
Yeah.
I don't think it detracts too much, but I don't think he would have made a good lead singer for sure.
Yeah. Well, but later on after More Adventure, either After Execution or More Adventures, later on in their career, he does put out a number of solo records as The Elected and with a couple other projects. And people love those records. So there's something there that's not for me. But so they played their first show in early 1998, and Dave Foley from Kids in the Hall, comedian, was at the show, loved them, and gave them money to record. And so they their first demo is called the Sandbox Sessions. So did you listen to these demos?
I did, yeah. And I was a little surprised how little some of the songs that made it onto the EP differ. Obviously there's certain things that are different, at least sonically, but like in a lot of ways it felt like a lot of these songs were in their final form to some degree by that point. And I know it wasn't very long before this was recorded either.
Yeah, I think they were recorded in the same year, but I think Papillon is the same recording.
Okay, that does make sense.
Remixed. The rest of them were, the Frug and Glendora were re-recorded. Glendora is the most that song kind of pops on the demo, and I think really pops on the final version.
Yeah.
But and there's others from that session that there's a song called Eggs apparently that exists, but it's never been released, not even leaked or anything.
Right.
Apparently the only ever copy of it was just given to Dave Foley, and even this demo only is out there because it popped up on eBay once, and all the Rilo Kiley message board banded together to buy it so they could have the songs.
This is what community is for.
I know, it's cool.
It's great. I love it.
I don't think we need to go through the demo sort of song by song. But did anything jump out at you, particularly in the songs that didn't make the final album?
It Cousin to Cousin was an interesting one, just because it does have that pa pa feel that I wouldn't have expected from a band like this. But I kind of like the version of Glendora on this demo. It's just a little raw. I should have re-listened to the EP after listening to the Sandbox Sessions, because there was that weird filter that they put on the drums in the build that I don't think made it onto the EP. That's a choice. It's kind of fun, but it's also really, really noticeable and maybe not good.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's that they're trying to do a lo-fi sort of post-punk thing. That, I mean, it only works because the song is so good, not because it's the right direction for their voices, I think.
Totally, yeah. But the other standout for me was 13, the de facto closer on the version of this that we have. I think that song's pretty fun. The structure is clever lyrically. My only gripe with it is that it feels like it just kind of rushes through itself, doesn't really have any room to breathe. And I think if it had been given a little bit of that, it could have been a contender for being on the EP. But yeah, I don't know, a pretty nice little handful of songs. And yeah, it's cool that we have access to this at all. Thank you, Rilo Kiley fan community.
Yeah, I think you're right on about 13. I think that's it's a great concept, and I would have, it wouldn't have. Well, just I'll put it this way: that song is better than a lot of what actually goes on the album.
Yeah, and well, I mean, we'll get to this when we talk about the actual EP, but I think this is the only song that works as a closer out of this entire collection of songs that we're talking about today. I don't think we're just heads up for people, we're going to be talking through the re-release of the EP, right? Is the track order we're going to be talking about, where it ends with Gravity.
the version if you go on a streaming service now is what's out there.
Yeah. So I don't. Gravity is a cool and fun song, but I don't think it. I literally have a note on here that says "super not a closer," whereas I think 13 is a closer.
Yeah, I mean, in Gravity, there's a version of the album that doesn't have that as the closer. Basically, they were. I think they're I mean, they're taking the opportunity of being like a totally unknown band at this point to just keep experimenting with what, this collection of songs should be. And I think they kind of, there's versions of it that feel a little more like jokey, or like they're trying to write novelty songs, and there's versions of it where they lean a little more serious, and like they just haven't settled at this point on what kind of band they want to be yet.
And again, like totally fine. Most bands just don't have the disadvantage of having their early stuff out there readily available for everybody to listen to.
Right.
And I say disadvantage, but I, by and large, like these songs. I would go so far as to say, to be clear.
Oh, yeah, for sure. I mean, they're not like, they weren't like 12 years old when they made this, Right. There's some level of like maturity and self-reflectiveness in it. And I think like when they're doing like kind of like novelty songs, like they're doing them on purpose, and they're doing them with the intention of being a little silly.
You're telling me that Steve isn't a very serious song?
Yeah. And yeah. Good reason that one is only on one version of the record, I think.
Yeah.
But let's jump into the album.
All right, let's do it. Let's talk about some dance moves that we may or may not be able to do.
Yeah, I certainly can't do any of them.
Same.
But yeah, this starts off
maybe the
Robocop. Yeah. It starts off with Frug, which is just a strange song, like a really, really weird song to like, if this was your introduction to this band, which for a handful of people it probably was, because this was on like the soundtrack to a movie called Desert Blue. There's a music video for it, so they actually did like real promo behind it. But it is like a novelty song about novelty songs, kind of.
Yeah, it's a fun riff on that, I think. Speaking of riffs, I do really love the opening guitar riff on this song. Like, I think that's pretty iconic.
Really nice. Yeah.
But yeah, it really does. It feels like a fun play on those songs that teach you how to do a dance by instead telling you all of the dances that you can and cannot do as a person, or Jenny Lewis can or cannot do as a person.
Yeah. Well, in her character in Troop Beverly Hills, which I guess is like kind of the most well-known like movie she was in, does these dances in like a dance class scene. So there's some element of like her childhood in this song.
Gotcha.
And then in the music video, she's like, she does the dances too, and then just like crosses her arms when she says, "I cannot do the Smurf," which is kind of funny.
It's great. I love that. It clearly, to your point, like very intentionally like kind of a novelty, but like still very well constructed in a way that a lot of these songs could have gone a totally different direction and been just kind of funny, and that would be all of their substance. I really like, I feel like the real cincher here is the call and response when she says, "I cannot do the Smurf," and then presumably everybody else in the band says she cannot do the Smurf.
Yeah.
I just think I think that really like that's the moment where I'm like, oh yeah, I do love this song.
It's so catchy. It was stuck in my head so much this week.
Same.
That little backing vocal bit in the music video too, when they do it like when Pierre, whatever his last name is, the bass player, and Blake do it in like doo-wop style into the same microphone is very funny.
That's beautiful. But yeah, I think a fun opener. Again, maybe not a great introduction to the band, but I don't know if any of these songs are necessarily going to be a like here's what this band sounds like, given the nature of all of the songs.
Yeah, it's kind of all over the place. Yeah, so from there on to Papillon, a song that I think, like I said, is the same recording from the original demo, just mixed much better. But this is one where Jenny and Blake are kind of like alternating verses. They're kind of like I don't know if they're writing about each other, but they definitely like can play it that way if they want to.
Right.
Which I think gives like it it adds a fun angle to the, I don't know about fun maybe, but it adds like an interesting like tension to the song that might not be there otherwise, because you're like, oh, is this about their actual relationship? Are they, do they love each other? Do they hate each other? I think they play off that dynamic really well.
Yeah, I would definitely say so. Yeah, I don't know. Like my only like real note on this is that this feels very like quintessential late 90s, early 2000s, like gentle indie folk, which I realize all of those words are basically non-descriptive, but I feel like people get it. I feel like anybody who was around then knows what that feel is.
Yeah, but like it's gentle kind of musically, but also emotionally it's not.
No, not at all. Not at all.
Yeah, and there's a little more like connectivity to like Liz Phair or someone like that in it, I think, than kind of what I think of as indie folk.
Yeah, that's totally fair. But yeah, I do love there are a couple of moments where we get named people on this record, and this is one of the songs where we get multiple people named, including Blake, again presumably Blake Sennett, but who knows? Who can say?
Yeah,
they can say. But we also get somebody named Morgan in this song, and then I think that's it. I think those are the only two named, we'll say, characters in except for Papillon. Papillon, I am not sure if I'm pronouncing that right, even though they say it multiple times in the song.
Yeah, I think it's Papillon.
Papillon.
I mean, that's which is just in reference to a book that I have not read.
Same, yeah.
And a movie that I haven't seen, I think, based on the book.
Fair. But yeah, a good song that does do that, like, kind of contrast between the music and the lyrics really well. Almost lulls you into a false sense of security about the subject matter.
Yeah. So after that, Always, which is very much a showcase for Jenny. It's basically her in a drum machine. In this version, they re-record it for Takeoffs and Landings with the full band, that I think brings out another layer of the song that's really cool. I think the song's really good. It's just got like a sneaky, like, great hook to it.
Yeah, that Up at Night part is it gives me the brain tingles, as it were. Just that little like harmonized. I'm not going to try to sing it. You know what I'm talking about.
Isn't that in?
Is that in 85? Did I just skipped a song? I'm so sorry.
No, it's fine.
That was bad.
It's depending on the track list that you're looking at. It's one of the versions just does not have that as the next song.
Right, fair. Anyway, back to Always. Yeah, no, my note about that drum machine is it's bad but also so good. I love that the snare is literally just white noise.
Yeah, I mean, it just has to be like one of those Casio, like drum machine keyboard things, right?
Oh yeah, 100%. There's no way that this isn't like pre-programmed, like hit a button, go type thing. It might not be, but it sounds pretty close to it. But yeah, good song. Very, very good vocal feature for Jenny, given that kind of sparse backdrop.
Yeah, and I think they're self-producing these early records, and so I think they're like, I don't know, they're not like, they're not bad producers at all, but I think they are more focused on like how do we get the core of the song across, and not being so concerned about like how do we build out this, the instrumental textures of the song or something like that on this, especially on a song like this, which works totally fine. Especially like seeing what the song builds into later, when we get to Takeoffs and Landings.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, then 85 happens.
Yes.
And all the stuff that I said about it accidentally on the last song still applies. I feel bad drawing this comparison, but it reminds me a little bit of that Canadian band Plumtree, right? That wrote the song that inspired Scott Pilgrim.
I don't know them.
Oh, well, they are a late 90s Canadian indie band. They were great. They were active in the very early 2000s too. I have no idea if they had any influence on this band at all. They might have. I feel like coming across a small band from Canada was maybe a little less likely back in the late 90s. than it is nowadays, given how I know internet connection speeds were back then. But yeah, they're a really fun band. This reminded me of like one of their like kind of more toned down songs in a way. But I also really like the guitar solo on this song. This is one of the ones where I'm like, oh yeah, I see how we got where we ended up getting with Blake's guitar technique and sound.
Yeah, it's definitely the one where they, for this record, where they go biggest on the arrangement and the production.
Totally.
Yeah, so from after that, we get to Glendora, which I think is just the absolute knockout highlight of this record.
It totally is. It's straight up punk song, and I love it. I think Go ahead. Sorry,
go ahead. No, you go.
Oh, okay. My big note on this is this is how Beach Bunny was born.
Oh, totally.
Like
they should absolutely be covering this.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, it's got this like even in the like the album version is more, the main guitar part is an acoustic. It's a little more like not jaunty, but like it's the taking away the like punkness of the demo, it turns it into more of like a little bit folkier, a little bit more of a fun like sing along type of song. So I think it's a really strong, good change to the song. But it's got this like bratty energy of it to it.
Yep.
Yep. And you can see why like Jenny Lewis became this kind of like sort of Hollywood indie icon in a song like this. Like it's just so easy to sing along to, and so easy to I'm sure it was like it went off like crazy at their early shows.
Oh, definitely, no question. There may or may not have been pits. I was not there, so I can't say, but if there were, it would have been justified.
So the third pressing of this, or the third like version of this EP, does not have the song on it, which doesn't make any sense to me.
That's an incredible shame.
Yeah, I can't imagine writing this and then not then like taking it off of the record that you put it on. It's wild. It might have made it into my like top 10, maybe top 5 Rilo Kiley songs after like spending a lot more time with it this week.
Yeah, I can see that for sure. Yeah, and I don't know, like I don't feel like there's anything really objectionable about this song by any means. Like it obviously it's about like kind of, I don't know, just being in a real bad situation. But like I don't know, and maybe that's painful to revisit. I don't know. I don't know why bands make decisions that they make, but this is a good song and it deserves to be on this EP.
Yeah.
Also, I do love that Jenny does in fact bring herself up in this song. And then proceeds. The part about the part about it being almost 12 at your favorite Denny's, which I love as a rhyme to her name.
Yes.
Yeah, super good. But yeah, I love this song. It might be my favorite out of this collection here.
Just because I watched Mulholland Drive today, I have to wonder if this is like the same Denny's that is central to that movie.
Oh God. Ooh. That's it could be. Now I'm looking at it a very different way.
Yeah.
I haven't watched Mulholland Drive in a while, but it I remember.
that scene will stay with you.
Of course it does.
Yeah, so next up is Teenage Love Song, which is another one that, feels like it's about high school love, it's about breakups, and also kind of feels like maybe they could be writing about each other.
Yeah.
It just kind of feels like a school dance. I think they did a really good job like setting the mood of the story with the arrangement in this one.
Yeah, I definitely agree on that. It's especially just the my favorite thing about this song is the kind of repeated but not last line of the verses where it is a rhyme to what came before it. So it's like, when you kissed me, but you dissed me. Did you miss me? Like I just think that's so fun. And really
Yeah.
like given you know given the nature of the song, like really fits together as a package here.
Yeah, they kind of give that up in the back part of the song, but
They do a little bit, yeah. they kind of bring it back in the outro, but that's about it.
But it's a cool one. It's another one that they kind of go a little bigger on production wise, and it feels like they're aiming for something a little more ambitious than some of the kind of like more jokey or like simpler songs.
Totally, yeah, and yeah, I do love how it kind of gets big and almost blown out towards the end there.
Yeah,
you know, which makes the kind of breaking of the pattern that they had established earlier make more sense. It could have been fun to, you know, bring that back in that context, but I think it still works
for sure. All right, Sword is this is kind of just like a piano ballad. Some really nice sounding organ at the end.
Yeah, I really love the arrangement on this song.
Same.
Just the slow adding of elements is really does something for me. Especially like the doubling of the piano and the synth at the beginning. It like is a unison doubling is such a choice, and I feel like it really works here. Which is surprising. You know, given the two almost mesh together too well, but they're just different enough that like, and they're mixed in such a way that like, if you're paying enough attention, you're like, oh yeah, that's nice. That's real nice.
Yeah, it's like it just adds you know, they're nice complementary layers. Yeah, it works really well. The other thing that I like about this song is there's like a not really a lead guitar part, but there's like a, you know, a sort of high guitar part later in the song that is like, I think is again like kind of like proto Blake just showing off his that awesome like clean tone melodic guitar thing that he does.
Yeah, totally. It's yeah, I think that it's good that this happens that happens on a song like this too, because it really gets to shine, but not in a guitar solo way, whereas like in a differently arranged song it might not.
Yeah. So then after that is Asshole, which is this is a song I just don't like.
That's understandable.
And like I said, this is going to be a theme of this. I don't really like Blake's voice. And I think it is especially you know, I don't know about bad, but especially like noticeable because the other vocalist in this band is Jenny Lewis, that like his, you know,
right.
he's got an interesting voice, I guess. It's very like airy and like, you know, trying to sound very vulnerable, I think, which is like a sound that people like. But I think like the songs that he leads on, I mean, he's not as good of a lyricist. He's not nearly as good of a singer. And I think the songs that he sort of takes the lead on production wise are also like he just makes choices that I just would not make. You know, there's a lot of like, he goes for a lot of like, I don't know, kind of weird looping background noises, and there's a lot of in this song. And just a slightly like denser sound that I don't think works as well for this band. But it's just funny. Like I've always gravitated pushed away from his songs on, you know, an Execution of All Things, the first album of theirs that I heard, and then just like every album is like, it's just like this clear delineation that his songs are always going to be my least favorite.
Sure, that's fair. I feel the biggest choice I noticed on this was the not all in on doing record scratching, but trying to emulate record scratching in a way that is like, I guess, cleaner. It's not used to great effect. Like that's one of those things where I'm like, oh, this is a novelty, and it does not work in the way that other novel things work on other songs here. I think some of the harmonies on this song work out well, but like as a whole, like it's just kind of fine, and that might mostly just be because those are the moments where I get to hear Jenny. So, you know.
Yeah. I just like it just makes it so funny to me that he was like, that Jenny was like, if I'm gonna be in this band, I need to sing lead because she's just so clearly the more she should be fronting this band, like just like obviously.
Yeah, it's it feels very obvious in retrospect, and I imagine it probably was pretty obvious at the time too.
Yeah. And then so the last song on the this version of the record is a song called Gravity, which is like a country song that I can't tell
it is
if
a country
it's, like,
song.
joking or not. Like,
I don't think it is. It might not be. I'm not sure it's a good country song, but I don't think it's a bad country song. It feels like they are going at this earnestly, with some degree of reverence for what is inspiring
kinda. Except
kinda.
at the ending when she's just like yodeling, basically. I don't know.
There is that, yeah.
Don't know if I can get on board with what she's doing with the vocals in this song.
Fair.
It's like, I mean, I guess it's she executes well the thing that she's trying to do. I just it immediately is just like, I don't need much more of this on this record.
That's fair, and it's kind of unfortunate that at one point in this EP's life cycle it was the closer,
right?
Because again, a fine song in some ways, but definitely not what you want to leave on, I don't think. But I have the hindsight that comes with listening to this 25-ish years later, so
yeah. And I mean, I guess it's only the closer on this version.
Right.
I'm just looking at all the other track listings now. It's, I guess in another version there's a Troubadours is a hidden track, but so Troubadours is the close. I don't know if it matters, but like it was the closer on the third pressing, a hidden track on the second pressing. That is, I think, a song worthy of being like a closer to this EP. Because it's
okay. That's
and
fair.
It feels more like an idea that they would kind of go back to a song about Jenny's parents splitting up. And even kind of the tone of it feels like the interludes on Execution of All Things to me.
Yeah, I think that makes sense. But yeah, because on the original pressing of this EP, Steve was the closer, right? Or was it a hidden track?
Well, it's Steve, and then there's a secret, and then there's a hidden track.
And then there's
Steve is Steve is a dumb song.
It's a dumb song about hating your stepdad, or not your stepdad, your mom's boyfriend.
Right. Yeah, that one. It makes sense that they abandoned pretty quickly.
Yeah, I think that was maybe a wise decision.
Yeah, and that other hidden track then on that first one, Keep It Together, is kind of fun. It's a little bit slight. It's just kind of like a verse and a chorus that then just repeat.
Yeah, and we've got Bad Drum Machine makes its comeback, and not in as flattering of a way as it did on Always. But I did my one other note on this song is, what is happening here? Why is Jenny's voice like that?
Yeah.
It's not bad. It's just weird.
Well, like I said, I feel like there a lot of the different, the things they try on, especially on kind of the hidden tracks and stuff, they're kind of being silly. They're just hanging out in the studio or whatever, or their house or wherever they recorded some of this stuff, and like are just like trying stuff, and some of that is the charm of the album and like the early era of this band. Like they're not that self-serious. They're they're clearly just like enjoying making kind of like sort of weird, sometimes really heartfelt, earnest music. And so I like that, even if the songs don't always land for me.
Yeah, I think that's a fair kind of overall assessment of this period of the band. I do. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Oh, I was not going to ask a serious question, so you go ahead.
Oh no, I mean my question was also not that serious, and it was do we actually know where the band name comes from? Because from what I understand, different answers have been given throughout the band's history. And there is maybe not a canonical actual answer. Most of them are like, it came to Blake in a dream. But then there's places where this is based on an actual person. There's explanations where it's a character in a book. And I could not hunt down what the actual canonical answer was.
I don't think there's a real answer.
That's fine.
The different stories they've told over the years. So yeah, it came to Blake in a dream. Or it came to him in a dream about a like cricket Hall of Famers of the 1800s book, or sometimes it's just like it
like
actually
a sports
came
almanac
from,
or something like that.
Right? Yeah. And I think Jenny said at one point they were just flipping through it's like I said, 19th century sports almanac and found the name and liked it. So who knows? One of those like sort of nonsensical but memorable enough names. There's a great Hard Times that's the headline that's like we interviewed Rilo Kiley and she got mad at us and told us her name was Jenny Lewis.
I think the headline is something along the lines of we interviewed Rilo Kiley and she kept asking us to stop calling her that or something along those lines.
Yeah. So that's fun, but yeah, like it's it's not that they cared about SEO in 1998 or whatever, but like, it's always been a very, there's nothing else out there that's called Rilo Kiley. Like, no namespace pollution there.
Yeah, they really nailed it and won on that one. Lot harder to find, well, not a lot harder to find Jenny Lewis, but in general, there are more Jenny Lewises out there than there are Rilo Kileys.
Right. Let's see. Oh, what I was going to say is, did you listen to all 18 minutes of The Annoying Noise of Death?
No, I did not.
Okay, good. I mean, it really is 17 minutes of like a car alarm going off, and then like 1 minute of Blake's answering machine, and then him strumming a guitar for 10 seconds.
Incredible. Honestly, I respect it more than I want to listen to it.
Yeah, I mean it's just a classic like silly hidden track. Extremely committed to making it as long as possible.
I dig that personally. Would I claim that I listened to it back in like college and gone, yeah, this is one of their best songs? Maybe. But also
it's art.
Yeah, no, it's fine. It's art. All music is art, even if it's a car alarm. I say, knowing full well that one of my favorite records of this year does feature a car alarm as a very core part of a piece.
Which album is that?
The Leah Cole album that came out earlier this year, Normal Sounds.
Okay.
Yeah, it's good. It's good. We will talk about it some other time.
Yeah. I don't have like a ton more on this. It's kind of we were kind of like debating as to whether we should even do a full episode on this this EP/album. I went for it because it is like 9/10 songs. And I think there's a decent amount to talk about there, just as in their like early history.
I think it's interesting to talk about as a like kind of weird living artifact. Like you don't get that a lot where like something gets re-released multiple times with different, like fully different tracks on it. As opposed to like just having some bonus tracks.
Yeah, or like that you get to see it kind of being assembled in real time. I was actually trying to think of other artists that have done that, and unfortunately the first one I could think of was Kanye West with his weird like that album that he just kept tweaking after he put it up on streaming.
Yep.
However 5 years ago or whatever.
But I have no idea how long ago it was at this point, and
maybe it was longer than that.
It might have been. I'm not going to make the effort to look up anything about a Kanye West album in the year of our Lord 2024.
Yeah, I just remember being kind of fascinated with the idea of like I can release this and then I can just keep like changing the mix or like adding features or removing features or whatever he was doing to it.
It's fascinating from an anthropological perspective. Like
just wish it
really
wasn't
says
him.
a lot. Yeah. But like truly, it really like says a lot about like, oh right, this is some like Marshall McLuhan medium is the message shit. Like, yeah, we live in an age where anything digital is fluid. Like if you don't release a canonical version of something where like it is impossible to go back and change every version of that exists in the world. You can just change every version of that exists in the world for the most part. Like, it's wild.
You know what's an even better example? I don't know if it's a better example, but it's a more pleasant example to talk about is the Gaslight Anthem's last record, where they had like one of the songs had like a little, like, I don't know if it was like a remnant of a drum loop or a click track or something like that you can hear in one of the songs, that then they just updated all the files to change it, and then they put out a different mix of it later on. So that's similar as well. That doesn't feel like it's totally upending what the album is, with the different versions.
Yeah, it follows that principle of like, yes, this is we have released this, but it is also a living, breathing thing that can change.
Right.
But yeah, an interesting proto look at that back in the early 2000s here. I kind of dig it.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't think I have any other like big picture thoughts on this album. I guess the Frug being like a I don't know about sensation, but it garnered enough attention for them that they signed to Barsuk shortly after this. Which is where we'll go next week when we talk about their real like proper debut album, Takeoffs and Landings.
Yep, and I'm gonna have to look up what all else was on Barsuk around then, because I know that was like early Death Cab, but I think that's all I can think of off the top of my head. I know more bands that have been on that label.
Yeah, Iron and Wine maybe. I don't know that label super well either. But yeah, Death Cab is just the band that I always associate with them.
Same. And they got that cute little dog with a frisbee for their logo. It's great.
Oh yeah. Cool.
Well, we'll talk more about that next week.
Yeah. Anything else?
No, I don't think so. Something we've never mentioned on literally any episode of this podcast is our theme music is by us.
Oh, that's true.
It's a song we released earlier. By the time you're hearing this, maybe not this year, but in early 2024, Troy and I have a band together called This Page Intentionally Left Blank. Our theme song is excerpts from the song Stamps. Check it out if you want to. Otherwise, it's on this podcast every week.
Yeah, good job, us. Good theme music.
Yeah. It's fun to write a podcast theme song. It's even more fun to already have a podcast theme song written for you by you.
This is true. All right. I guess to end it, learn to do the Frug.
Yeah, please. If anybody wants to send us videos of themselves doing the Frug, the Robocop, or dare I say the Smurf, yeah, we're places online. You can send us videos. I'm not going to film a video of myself doing the Frug, not even for content. I'm sure I'll eat those words eventually.
If only we had TikTok.
If only, yeah, it would be so difficult to go get a TikTok in this day and age, though. I couldn't deign to. All right. Well, thanks for listening, everybody. Maybe one of us will do the Frug somewhere on the internet. You'll have to dig deep, though.
Maybe.
Probably not.